Hi everyone, it is Cierra Johnson, the president and founder of Create Foundation, and today's video I'm going to be vlogging my 360 experience. I've joined up with 360 Kids to put an end and to prevent youth homelessness in York Region by spending one evening out in the cold today on March 4th. Before we get into this video, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has supported me and supported 360 Kids by donating and fundraising for this event. The goal that I set was $400. I'm at $495 and my goal was only $400. So thank you to everyone who's continuously supported me. And just because the 360 experience ends tonight doesn't mean that you have to stop donating. So please continue to donate and support me and 360 Kids. And together we can end youth homelessness in York Region and the GTA. Honestly, I'm feeling kind of nervous personally because I don't really enjoy being outside in the cold for long periods of time, but I don't think anyone does. And of course, those who have to experience this and go through this every night, it's terrible. But I'm also excited to see what 360 Kids has planned for the evening. So my little checklist that I have for the night, I have my backpack, my sleeping bag, my water bottle, some tissues. I brought some little snacks. I have my phone, my portable battery. I have my signs that 360 Kids made. To be honest, I don't really have a plan or a strategy for how the night's gonna go. I'm just going to wait till 7:55 until we get a text about what's gonna be happening and our prompts and everything, and I'm just gonna go from there. I'm pretty good at thinking on my feet as well, so hopefully everything will work and run smoothly. I'll catch up with you guys later. Okay, so it is 8 o'clock or just a little bit after. So I'm gonna place my tripod over here and start to set up my space for, I guess, the next 5 hours that I'm gonna be out here. So I'll take out my sleeping bag so I can sit on the ground and I'll go from there. All right, so I got my little space for myself to sit. Maybe I will be cuddling up inside the sleeping bag at some point during the night. It's 5 hours is quite a lot of time to be spending outside. But again, there's youth that have to go through this every single night. So I'm not gonna complain. It's 8:15 right now, so I will check in with you guys later. Okay, so just an update. It is now 8:30 and I got my personal event scenario. So the scenario is based on a true story of a youth who has come to 360 Kids and utilized one of their 22 programs or services. I just got another text. You now know the reason you've left or been kicked out of your home. You've never had or been on the street before. Your first step to finding a place to sleep is to Google homeless shelters in York Region. Please open up your Maps app or internet browser and do just that. Oh. So am I gonna have to walk to a homeless shelter? Let's open it up on my phone. Wow, and In from the Cold is the first one that shows up. And it says most of these homeless shelters are actually open 24 hours, which is really a good thing. But yeah, I will update you later with what my next step is. Okay, So I switched my direction a little bit because the wind was starting to pick up, but still okay, still doing good. It's about 8:45. I just got another text. The text that I got says, I will read it. What you might have learned is that there's not that many places a homeless youth can go to in York Region when home is no longer an option to stay. Right now, in York Region, there are 41 shelter beds available for youth who are experiencing homelessness on any given night. If you think about that, only 41 beds? That's such a little amount. That's so crazy to think about. Only 41 youth every night are able to have shelter from the cold. And what do the other 1,000 plus do every night? Probably exactly what I'm doing, being out in the cold. So I'm gonna play the first YouTube video. Okay, this video is a little bit long, so I will just catch up with you guys after with my thoughts on the video. All right, so I just listened to Sasha's video about the youth hub and all the programs that they have and the services and everything that they're doing for the youth over there. And honestly, it's when I hear stories like that, it just really, like, it touches my heart to see how, like, one person or just like one program or something can impact so many lives positively. And that's why I started my foundation, or one of the reasons why I started it was to help other youth to be able to express themselves freely, to be able to have something that they can turn negative emotions into something positive. And again, it's like stories like that that just really move me and touch my heart. And it's so great to hear how many youth are actually, or how the youth rather are responding to these programs. And also, I forgot to show you the signs. I mentioned them earlier. So this is one of them. It says, "How are you sleeping tonight?" I really think that this sign is a reminder that, again, there's a lot of youth homeless, a lot of youth out there who don't have a bed for the night. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I just learned there's only 41 beds for youth at any given night. So that's crazy to think about, how every night I get to go home, I get to sleep in my cozy bed, and I get to be warm, where youth have to problem solve and find ways to keep themselves warm, especially through the winter when shelters are full. So it really makes you think. So on that note, it is 9 o'clock. So I've been out here for an hour. I'll update you guys later with new information that I get. Okay, it's 9:05. I got another text. It says, "By now you've learned a little bit more about where you could go as a teen, young adult to get some help and hopefully a bed for the night. You've tried calling, but it seems like all the phone lines are busy. You can't get in touch with someone to find out if there is space for you tonight. So you take your chances and start walking to the shelter. It's an hour walk from where you live, and you'd rather keep the change you have in case you need to buy food or something later on. My task: if you are comfortable doing so, please for the next hour walk around your backyard, house, neighborhood, or somewhere local to you." I feel like I could probably walk around my neighborhood. My backyard's quite small, so I think it'd more be that I'm just standing for an hour rather than walking. So you know what? I'll just do it. Let's just go on a walk for an hour in my neighborhood. I'm just gonna skedaddle to the front and I'm gonna start walking for an hour. And I will update you when I'm walking. Okay, so I'm gonna start walking around my neighborhood. As soon as I was running out the front door, because I was trying to not stay inside as to, you know, contradict the whole point of this thing. And my mom was like, wait, you got a package from 360 Kids. And I was like, wait, what? And look at this super cute hat, which I'm so glad that she told me, not because we're only an hour in. And now I can wear it for the rest of the night. And it's got like a little pom-pom on top. And it's so adorable. So yeah, I'm just gonna start doing some circles. I live in a ridge or a court kind of. So I'm just gonna walk in a circle for about an hour. I'll catch you guys when I am, maybe when I get another text. So I've been walking for about an hour now and my fingers are almost frozen. It's actually gotten a little bit warmer just because I have been walking. But again, I don't know how youth have to go through this every night. It's quite difficult, especially in this climate. It's quite difficult to have to go and overcome such challenges. But we're on our way home because it has been about an hour, and I will update you with what my next task is. Alright, so it's 10:10. When I left, my battery on my phone was at, I think, 87. It's at 9% now, so not great. But I am back from my hour walk, and I got some new updates. The newest one. In York Region, almost all of youth homelessness is hidden homelessness. Normally that would mean that youth would try crashing at a friend's place, excuse my dog, staying in a coffee shop, or trying to ride the bus all night. The pandemic has changed the access youth have to these public spaces. Our Chief Operating Officer, Bonnie Harkness, explains the difficulties of the pandemic and how that has created for the youth experiencing homelessness and how 360 Kids has been able to help. So at this point, you've learned that the shelter you've spent an hour walking to is full. They've called around, there's no beds available for you tonight. You're given the option to go to the Sutton Youth Shelter, but you know that it would be impossible for you to get back to town for school/work the next day. And you're desperate to seek a trusted adult for some help or advice. So you decided you'll just find a quiet place close to the shelter and sleep there for the night. So my next task, in your backyard, porch, car, etc., please build yourself a shelter sleeping arrangement. You can only use the supplies you're wearing or the items in your backpack. Hunker down here for the night and try to stay warm. It will be cold. Just imagine having to do this night after night and then trying to go to school the next day. All that I brought with me is my sleeping bag and I have my backpack. So I'm thinking maybe I use the backpack as a pillow and then I crawl into my sleeping bag and zip that up. I'm going to try to get into my sleeping bag and I will update you once I have successfully or unsuccessfully done so. I have successfully gotten into my sleeping bag for the night, because I won't actually be spending the whole night out here because the 360 experience ends at 1. So I have gone into the sleeping bag. I have that, and I've got my backpack as a little pillow. I mean, again, I've said this probably at least 10 times throughout the night. I really feel for these youth, especially on nights like these where it's such extreme weather conditions. So for a time check, it's about 10:22. So I have been out here for 2 hours and a half, and one of those hours was spent walking. I've actually learned quite a lot from this experience already, and especially with the scenario that I was given, being kicked out of your home and having to walk an hour at night, especially for a youth to walk alone at night for an hour in these conditions, it's not only is it uncomfortable, but it's scary to think about. Like, even I get uncomfortable when I have to walk alone at night. So I can't imagine what youth must be feeling in that scenario. I've situated myself next to the shelter that didn't have space for me to sleep in tonight, and I'll update you guys once I get another update. Hello. So it is now 11 o'clock and I haven't gotten a new prompt yet, but I feel like my body's kind of adjusting to being out here for so long. My toes have gone completely numb. I cannot feel my toes. But I was laying with my head on my hands like this, so my fingers are actually okay. But for sure my toes I cannot feel. But I have a lot of respect for youth who can, or not even can, because they don't have a choice, but it's incredible. Because I've only been out here for 3 hours. So I couldn't imagine just doing this every single night. And honestly, throughout this whole experience, I haven't been on my phone at all. Well, unless I'm reading texts from 360 Kids, but besides that, I haven't been on social media even to update my feed about what I'm doing right now, but I'll probably get to that eventually. I'm just really trying to take in this whole experience because I feel... Oh. And that is another text from them, actually. We would like you to meet Jesse, one of the youth who have been able to find the help they need through our 360 Kids programs to move from homelessness to now living independently with stable employment and the goal of sharing their story through music. Well, I'm gonna listen to this. Yeah, I'll update you later. Hi, so it is now 11:50, so we're nearing the end here. I got pretty cold. Honestly, my toes, I thought I was gonna have to chop them off. Like, they were just so cold. So I just got up and started walking in a circle on my back porch just to try to get the blood flowing a little bit. Then I got another text from 360 Kids, which I will read. It says, "Oh no, the place you decide to stay for the night is actually private property. The owners have told you to move along and threaten to call the police if you don't leave immediately. So the optional task is, if you are comfortable doing so, pack your shelter back up, put your supplies in your backpack. We will be sending you out for another walk shortly. Otherwise, you can remain in your shelter for the duration of your night." So honestly, it's a little bit late, I think, to be walking out and alone in my neighborhood. So I think, if anything, I could probably just continue to do some circles back here. Maybe I'll go into my backyard and also do some circles. Just some nearing the end thoughts. This isn't even the coldest night that I think that we've had in Ontario, or the GTA specifically. Like, it's only maybe -11 now, and I know that we've had like -30, like negative maybe 40s pushing it, but I couldn't imagine doing this in -30 weather, especially if it was snowing or it was raining. It really puts things into perspective about how truly lucky we are to be able to have a place to call home. So it's 11:53. So I will pack up my shelter, but I'm just gonna walk around here for the next hour, probably. They said they're gonna be sending a walk task shortly, so we'll see what happens and I will update you once I get that text. Okay, so it's 12 o'clock. I got another text. So it says, many of the youth we meet have a certain perception of our York police. It might be that they grew up with violence in the home and had officers coming in to break up family conflict. However, 360 Kids and the York Region Police work extremely closely to support youth experiencing crisis. Our HOPE program is one where we work alongside the York Regional Police in order to get human trafficking survivors away from their abusers and into our safe and secure home, where they are given counseling and wraparound supports like employment, our iGrad education program, and whatever they need to transition into the life they want. So they sent 2 videos. The first video link below was created by the York Region Police, especially for all of our event participants tonight. The second is from our HOPE program manager, Jessica. Please listen to both, learn a little more on how we collaborate supporting those impacted by human trafficking. So I actually went ahead and already watched both videos, and I did actually learn quite a bit about the HOPE program. So I also learned that it started in 2014 and it's for those who identify as female ages 16 to 26 years old. And it's just another way to show support and to help out in the community, especially with females that are at risk of human trafficking. We're really, really close. We got an hour left, so I'll update you once I get another text. I'm back. There's another text. You've decided your best bet is to head over to your school work and camp out there for the night. It's an hour back to your neighborhood. Once again, this is the task. Once again, if you're able and comfortable doing so, for the next hour, please walk around your backyard, house, neighborhood, or somewhere local to you. So again, as I mentioned before, I've kind of been like walking just in circles on my porch, just trying to keep my blood flow moving, to keep my fingers, my toes, my face warm. We are really, really close. It's 12:20 now, so got about 40 minutes left. And I've really learned so much from this experience, and I know this is only a glimpse at what youth actually do have to go through and experience every night on their own, but it's just, again, it's heartfelt. Like, it just melts my heart. Like, I really feel for these youth, especially being out here and experiencing it. I really feel for them. I will check in if there's another update. Okay, so it's 1 o'clock. I haven't gotten a text yet, but my battery on my camera is about to die, so that concludes the outdoor 360 Kids experience. So I'm gonna go inside and then give a reflection of my final thoughts on this whole experience. Hello, I am back in the warmth of my house. It is about 1:10 and I'm going to read the final text that I got. So it says, "You did it. We imagine by now you are cold, tired, and maybe a little hungry. Yes, I am. Let us know how you're feeling on social media and don't forget to tag us." This brings you to the end of your at-home 360 experience. Thank you so much for dedicating these past 5 hours to walk in the shoes of a youth who lives this experience each night. As you might have learned, it's not easy, it's lonely, exhausting, and young people do this every night. Before you watch our final video, we want to update you on the amazing progress we've made throughout the night. At this time, we have raised $128,000. Wow. If I remember correctly, I believe that the goal was $50,000. So that's more than double. This includes the donation dollars you've raised, cash and checks we have had delivered to our office, and the sponsorship dollars from our amazing partners. Thank you all so much for being a part of this historic night. It's because of your efforts we together can ensure that every kid matters. So as I mentioned, that concludes the 360 at home experience, and honestly, I just learned so much. Finding my way back indoors and just opening the door and stepping in, and just the warmth and the heat hitting me after 5 hours of me not being able to feel any sort of warmth was just, I can't even explain what that felt like. It was just like a sigh of relief that I was back in that environment that I was so used to being in. My overall experience throughout the night, as I mentioned throughout these videos, I just learned so much with every YouTube video, every text, every personal story and scenario that I read through and watched. It was just so educational and full of information on what youth actually have to go through, especially being able to hear these stories from youth themselves and youth that's actually passed through the 360 Kids shelter. It was just very eye-opening to the world around us. And I've said this a lot tonight, but I don't think that we realize how truly lucky and blessed that we are to be able to have these blessings. Being able to drive your car, being able to have food on the table, a roof over your head, being able to afford warm clothes to keep you warm during the winter. Just things like that I feel like we often take advantage of, or we just look over it. After spending the 5 hours outside tonight, I can definitely say that there was a lot of alone time, a lot of thinking, and it just made me truly appreciate everything that I have. And I'm never gonna complain ever again, because there are youth out there that are struggling who don't have maybe half of what I have. And I'm gonna continue to advocate for youth homelessness, especially in the GTA, because together I believe that we truly can end youth homelessness. Thank you again to the 360 Kids for just having this experience and for really opening my eyes to what a homeless youth has to go through every night alone in York Region. I really, really appreciated this experience. You can visit www.360kids.ca to continue to show your support as well as to donate. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.